the Clinton campaign at the time was using all kinds of euphemisms, security review, matters, things like that for what was going on. We were getting to a place where the Attorney General and I were both going to have to testify and talk publicly about it. And I wanted to know, was she going to authorize us to confirm we had an investigation? And she said, yes, but don't call it that, call it a matter. And I said, why would I do that? And she said, just call it a matter. And again, you look back in hindsight, you think, should I have resisted harder? I just said, all right, this isn't a hill worth dying on. And so I just said, okay.
Thank you. Director Comey, the meeting in the Oval Office where he made the request about Mike Flynn, was that the only time he asked you to hopefully let it go?
Yes.
And in that meeting, as you understood it, he was asking not about the general Russian investigation. He was asking very specifically about the jeopardy that Flynn was in himself.
That's how I understood it, yes, sir.
And as you perceived it, while it was a request that you hoped you did away with it, you perceived it as an order, given his position, the setting, and the like, and some of the circumstances.
Yes.
At the time, did you say anything to the president about that is not an appropriate request, or did you tell the White House counsel that is not an appropriate request? Someone needs to go tell the president that he can't do these things?
I didn't, no.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. I think, as I said earlier, I think the circumstances were such that I was a bit stunned and didn't have the presence of mind. And I don't know, I don't want to make you sound like I'm Captain Courageous. I don't know whether, even if I had the presence of mind, I would have said to the president, sir, that's wrong. I don't know whether I would have. Okay. But in the moment, it didn't come to my mind. What came to my mind is, be careful what you say. And so I said, I agree, Flynn is a good guy. The president tweeted on Friday, after I got fired, that I better hope there's not tapes. I woke up in the middle of the night on Monday night, because it didn't dawn on me originally, that there might be corroboration for our conversation. There might be a tape. And my judgment was I needed to get that out into the public square. And so I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. And so I asked a close friend of mine to do it.
What's bothering you, Frank?
Things are not normal around here, Vince. You got a call from Clifton, not Beckstead. You know why? Because last week, Beckstead got sent to Thailand on some sort of an extended training program. Mark's in charge. He's in over his head, and Clifton knows it. On the same day Beckstead gets sent to Thailand and Mark's put in charge, you get called down for a little chat about a promotion. There's an intentional power vacuum being created here, and you're being sucked into it.
Oh, isn't that nice? You're worried about me.
Now, you listen to me. You're about to deal with vipers.
I thought I was coming in from the cold.
These are dangerous men, Vinny. They've tasted power and they're addicted to it. If they sense a threat to their position on the daisy chain, they'll cut your heart out and look you in the eye while they do it.
I've dealt with dangerous men before, Frank.
They lived outside the law. The great equalizer was that you represented the system. They carry the law in their briefcases. You cross them, you're the one on the outside.
The laws they carry in their briefcases are my laws too, Frank. Anywhere you find power, you're gonna find men going about the business of trying to corrupt it. They wallow in the trappings of power, hoping it'll stick, but it never does. Real power comes from the heart, Frank. It comes from resolute men who put universal ideals above self-aggrandizement. Now stop the car. Pull over. Now get out here with me. Look around you, Frank. Look at it. I know what you see. You see this marble and granite housing these fang-toothed venomous creatures, brokering power for their own self-interest. But you know what I see?
Jimmy Stewart?
Yeah, you're damn right. Jimmy Stewart. I see the surviving and the prevailing of truth, Frank. And your vipers can gerrymander and pork barrel and burgle and assassinate us till doomsday. And it's to no avail. And you know why? Because truth is self-evident. And once there's truth, there's no denying it. And I know you know that. God, I love this town! Yes! God. And these guys, Frank, these guys stood up to your vipers and they built the best nation on earth. Don't you feel it? Put your hand on your heart, Frank. Feel it. No. You look at these monuments. You look at these monuments and you tell me that your heart isn't beating just a little bit faster. You tell me that's not why you became a guardian of truth. Now don't give me that cynical puss, Frank. Do it. Do it for me. Put your hand on your heart. Do it for me. You see? God, I love this place! Makes me feel like a little kid. Don't you feel like a little kid?
Yeah, I feel like a little kid.
What?
I also feel ridiculous. Get in the car. Just get in the car.
This man told me there was a crisis, and it was my moral duty to stop it. I didn't know Kay Gallagher, but they did. They know how fragile an individual she is. And they put me on her like a dog on the hunt. And I chased her until they caught me. He's had it in for Gallagher ever since she lobbied for the Japanese jet fighter. And you told me that yourself, Senator Pickering. And you have seen my crime and have sought my punishment ever since the day the invasion of Il Pavot collapsed. Now, Dr. Valenti, an innocent man, is dead. Does anybody care? Or does this come under the heading of an acceptable level of death? I wonder. I wonder which one of you killed him. And it doesn't matter, does it? Because we'll never know. It just got passed down the chain of command. From you, to you, to you. And right on down the line. Bada bing. Somebody's on the next plane to El Salvador. Hmm? You know, when I came to this town, it was one of the happiest days of my life. I was here to work in the shadow of Jefferson. I was warned. About the men that had become addicted to power and complacent about its misuse. I should have heeded that warning. But I was naive. I was naive enough to believe that there was more backbone in the truth than there was in corruption. Well, you know something? I still believe it. Despite this fair, informal hearing, I still believe it.